It began as a faint flicker in the night sky, a signal buried among the countless points of light. Telescopes from Hawaii to South Africa caught it first, before NASA confirmed it. A new object had entered our solar system, uncharted, unbound by gravity's expected rules, and most unsettling of all, arriving from interstellar space. At first glance, it looked like just another rock. But within hours, irregularities emerged. Its speed was too fast, its path too precise, its reflections unnaturally bright. And when astronomers retraced its trajectory, the revelation made the blood run cold. The object was heading straight toward the inner solar system. For generations, we imagined space as silent and indifferent. But as this strange traveler barreled into our neighborhood, the James Webb Space Telescope shifted its gaze. What it began to reveal was more disturbing than anyone anticipated. Some scientists dared to ask aloud the question others only whispered. What if this isn't just a visitor? What if it's watching us back? First detected between June 25 and 29, the object, later designated 3I, nicknamed Atlas, was discovered by a high-speed scanning system designed to catch dangerous near-Earth objects before they surprise us. Yet this wasn't an asteroid. Its velocity exceeded 152,000 miles per hour, far beyond anything normally bound to our Sun's gravity. Simulations showed its origin didn't trace back to the Oort cloud or even the outer planets, but to interstellar space, possibly the galactic core itself. This wasn't a fragment left over from the birth of our solar system. It was something that had traveled the darkness for tens of thousands of years, only now crossing our path. What puzzled astronomers even more was the timing. Before 2017, no interstellar object had ever been detected. Then came three in rapid succession. First, Oumuamua in 2017, with its elongated shape, strange acceleration, and lack of cometary outgassing. Then Borisov in 2019, a comet but unlike any seen before, fast, volatile, and alien in composition. And now Atlas, a body that seemed to merge the inexplicable qualities of both its predecessors. It was as though a pattern was emerging, a sequence too deliberate to ignore. Could these arrivals be mere coincidence, or were they part of something larger, perhaps even a wave of probes, each hidden in plain sight as random celestial wanderers? When scientists studied Atlas more closely, the strangeness deepened. Its brightness didn't align with its estimated size. It reflected far more light than rock or ice should, more like polished metal. Its surface hinted at something hollow or engineered rather than solid and natural. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who had once proposed that Oumuamua might have been artificial, urged researchers to check for non-gravitational accelerations, tiny deviations in movement unaccounted for by the sun's pull. If such changes were present, they might signal navigation, not drifting. And if it was navigating, then humanity wasn't observing an accident of nature, but an intentional presence. James Webb's instruments began to confirm the unthinkable. Atlas showed signs of controlled acceleration, small but measurable shifts in trajectory with no visible jets of gas, no outgassing plume, nothing to suggest cometary behavior. Infrared readings revealed a faint but stable heat signature, unlike the chaotic warming of natural objects. Its spin was too symmetrical, its reflectivity too uniform. Even more unsettling were the absorption lines in its spectrum, hints of advanced carbon structures, materials more consistent with engineered composites than with geology. This wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented. The more data streamed in, the harder it became to dismiss. Internal memos circulated quietly through NASA, the European Southern Observatory, and even defense agencies. Electromagnetic fluctuations suggested cavities or layered densities inside the object, structures more complex than solid stone. One hemisphere appeared to absorb heat differently than the other, as though by design. Piece by piece, the evidence was pointing away from randomness and toward intentionality. What if this wasn't a natural traveler at all? What if it was artificial, a probe, an autonomous messenger, a machine launched long before humanity even knew how to look for it? The idea is terrifying not because it means we are alone, but because it means we never were. Perhaps Oumuamua was our first missed message, and Atlas is our second chance. If so, then the question isn't just what this object is made of. The real question is, who, or what, sent it, and why did they choose now to reveal themselves? Because if nature didn't make this thing, then someone did. That possibility sent ripples far beyond the scientific community. At first, data flowed freely, trajectory maps, light curves, and raw telescope feeds. But then, almost overnight, the openness collapsed into silence. NASA, ESA, ISRO, agencies that had published updates daily, suddenly restricted access. Pages went offline, observation logs disappeared, and requests for raw web data were denied under review clauses. Freedom of information requests came back with entire sections blacked out. Teams of researchers were reassigned without explanation, and telescope feeds that once streamed to universities were quietly sealed. What began as a story of discovery turned into a wall of secrecy. Why the sudden change? Analysts speculated that something had been uncovered, something extraordinary, and governments were no longer treating it as a scientific puzzle but as a matter of security and control. Because once a discovery pushes into territory that threatens not just physics but power, belief, and stability, it stops belonging to science alone. It becomes about who gets to decide what humanity is allowed to know. And in space, control isn't just about what signals are shared. It's about what's kept silent. As Atlas continues its silent journey through the solar system, the realization is unavoidable. This is not just a data point. It is an inflection point, a turning moment that forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about isolation, intelligence, and our place in the universe. If the object is artificial, then it comes from a civilization unimaginably older than ours, one capable of building something to survive eons in the void, a creation whose presence may itself be the message. If it is natural, then we've discovered a phenomenon so advanced, so rare, that it perfectly mimics intentional design. Either way, the conclusion is the same: our understanding of the universe is incomplete, and James Webb has just shown us the mirror of that ignorance. We are no longer staring into emptiness. Perhaps emptiness has been staring back all along. In private conversations, an even more disturbing thought began to spread. What if this was never a random discovery? What if Atlas wasn't drifting blindly until we stumbled upon it, but had always been waiting, time to appear when humanity's instruments had grown just capable enough to notice? The convergence of its arrival, the advancement of AI and quantum physics, and Webb's unique perspective, could these be coincidences, or was it a test? A probe not meant to shout across the stars, but to wait patiently, silently, until a civilization was clever enough to catch it. Imagine billions of years of cosmic radio silence. No messages, no signals, no clear signs of visitors. And then, at the exact moment we begin to reach out beyond Mars, something appears, quiet, precise, impossible to ignore. If so, then we are no longer observers of the universe. We are the observed. Every reaction, every scan, every restriction of data becomes part of the record. And perhaps, in that silence, the real experiment has already begun. The James Webb Space Telescope was built to pierce the veil of deep time, to study the first stars and galaxies at the edge of creation. Instead, it turned its gaze to something here and now, crossing our doorstep. An object too precise to be ordinary, too silent to be dismissed, and too perfectly timed to be coincidence. In seeking answers, we found only a reflection, an enigma that doesn't just shine light back at us, but forces us to confront our deepest insecurity. Are we alone, or have we simply never been advanced enough to notice who's been passing by? What Webb revealed was not just another object in space. It was the start of a new vocabulary, one we are not ready to define, one that blurs the line between natural and artificial, intelligence and accident. We have stepped into a new era of awareness. An age in which our telescopes do not only reveal stars, but reveal how little we truly know, and how much more someone else may already understand. This wasn't a warning light. It was a test pattern. And now the question isn't whether we will find something out there. It's whether something has already found us.